Well, what's next? Relative color. We've talked about this a million times on the podcast, but being able to take a color, whether it is a RGBA, HSL, or hex code, split it up into its color channels. So you could take a hex code and split it up into RGB. You can take any color and you could take a hex code and split it up into its HSL values. And then it will simply give you variables H, S, and L, or R, G, and B. And then you can return the RGB values slightly tweaked. And the use case for this often is increasing the lightness of something, or finding the opposite color, trying to find a complementary color to something.
Yeah.
Adding opacity is another really good one.
Yeah, totally. And I have this on the screen. We're using this on the syntax height. When you overlay on a button, you want to just make it slightly lighter. So what you have is we're taking from a CSS variable, mind you. It's from a CSS variable, so that can be dynamic. And then calculating a new lightness value where we're adding 0.35 to the lightness, and then keeping the C and H values. What is the C? Chroma? Hue? I know H is hue. Either way, we're keeping that C and H value. And again, like you said, this is useful for all kinds of things like that. It's super useful for relative color systems, where you're having a color system that's deriving various shades from other colors. It's useful for
like borders
like
that need to be slightly lighter or darker.
Yeah. So very super nice for all kinds of reasons. We love relative color syntax. Been waiting for a long time to be able to use this.
In all the browsers now. That was one of them where you couldn't really transpile it because it had to be live in the browser, right?
Yeah, so, right, exactly. There was no good way to have this be dynamic with post CSS. Next one is some new CSS functions. We have